Hi, I'm Josh, and this is the Science Classroom. In this video, we're going to talk about the periodic table. The periodic table has had many forms over the years. The first periodic table of elements to be widely accepted was developed by Dmitri Mendeleev in the late 1800s. His periodic table was ordered by increasing atomic mass, and he ordered the known elements into a table. Every time he came to an element with properties that were similar to one already in a row, sodium had similar properties to lithium, so this row ended with fluorine and then sodium went underneath lithium. Although this periodic table was truly genius, in part due to the fact that Mendeleev left blank spaces where he predicted the existence of undiscovered elements, it was imperfect. This periodic table placed some elements in the wrong place, and ordering by atomic mass isn't the best way to arrange the elements. In 1913, Henry Moseley rearranged the periodic table by increasing atomic number, and this corrected the errors in Mendeleev's periodic table. This led to the periodic law, which states the properties of the elements are periodic functions of the atomic number. In other words, when elements are arranged by increasing atomic number, the properties of elements are predictable based on their location in the periodic table. For example, the properties of elements in the same column are going to be similar to one another. So what are we going to learn in this video? First, we will learn the main features of the modern periodic table. Then we will learn about some of the chemical families on the periodic table. At the end of the video, there will be a few problems for you to check your understanding. Elements are arranged so that those with similar properties are in vertical columns that are called groups or chemical families. The horizontal rows are called periods. Each column on the periodic table represents a category of elements that have similar properties. But before we get to those, there are three more broadly defined categories on the periodic table. The metals are on the left side, the nonmetals are on the right side, and the metalloids are in this boundary region here. In general, metals are going to be solid at room temperature, except mercury, which is a liquid. They conduct heat and electricity. They're malleable, which means they can be hammered into thin sheets. They are ductile, which means they can be drawn into thin wires. Nonmetals have a wide range of properties. Some are solids, others are liquids, and some are gases. In general, nonmetals do not conduct electricity. Metalloids are elements that have some properties of metals and some properties of nonmetals. Now let's take a look at some of the chemical families. The first column is called the alkali metals, except hydrogen, which is not a part of this family. They are extremely reactive in soft metals. They react violently with water to produce hydrogen gas, and they form ions with a positive 1 charge. The second column is called the alkaline earth metals. They are also very reactive metals, however not as reactive as the alkali metals. They form ions with a positive 2 charge. This whole section here in the middle of the periodic table are the transition metals. They are unique because they form ions with a variety of different charges. They are generally not as reactive as the first two columns of metals. We're going to skip all the way across here to group 7. Group 7 is called the halogens. They're the most reactive nonmetals, and they react very violently with the alkali metals to form salts. They form ions with a negative 1 charge. Group 8 are the noble gases. They are all gases and unreactive. Sometimes they are called the inert gases because they don't react with any other elements. Although xenon has been coaxed into forming compounds with the extremely reactive fluorine. So in this video, we learned that the modern periodic table is organized by increasing atomic number. There are 3 broad categories on the periodic table: metals, nonmetals, and metalloids. The columns on the periodic table represent chemical families that have similar physical and chemical properties. Thanks for watching. You can support the Science Classroom by liking this video and subscribing to the channel.